Aw, Simeon's upset at TVNZ. He thinks they were too aggressive when trying to get answers about a story about the actions of the National Party senior whip and climate change denier Stuart Smith during the mixed messages around what Smith did or didn't know or say or didn't say or brought up or didn't bring up when it came to how unpopular Christopher Luxon was and the talk about rolling him. And then when it actually came to that caucus on Tuesday, he wasn't there and gave two contradictory reasons as to why that was. TVNZ dispute Simeon's version of events, and based on how much the National Party campaign, which Simeon now chairs, straight up lie about everything, I'm actually kind of inclined to believe TVNZ on this one, but I wasn't there, so I can't be sure. But TVNZ do also point out that the proper process for dealing with actions at Parliament, even by media, is through the Speaker, not through Twitter, which is where Simeon announced his plan to complain and how the Speaker found out about the plan to complain, which is kind of disrespectful that Simeon would go to the court of public opinion on a highly partisan platform where he knows bootlickers will tell him he's a good boy doing a good big boy job before doing things the official way. In that statement, though, the Minister of Health says that we want fair, balanced and accurate media reporting on issues that matter. And he's not wrong. The problem is, his boss is actually making that so much harder to do, and he has been since before he was elected. On Friday, it was announced that Luxon was not going to do an interview with Tova on Breakfast next week and hasn't decided if he will ever do one again. Before Tova actually stepped into that role on Breakfast, there was legitimate public concerns that the Breakfast interviews could be seen as a little bit light, but she has very quickly established her forthright style that she had at Stuff in this new role, and both interviews and, one throwaway question she's had with Luxon since she started, he's actually looked inept and lost in, because bumper sticker phrases have never worked on her. On top of actively avoiding Jack Tame on Q&A for 16 months, he's also refused multiple invites for a sit-down with Moana Maniapoto. When it comes to in-depth questioning to hold power to account that's had time to be researched or data put behind it, he has reduced that ability more than any Prime Minister before him, and he's slashed funding to public broadcasters that do hold him to account in some way. But on top of that, he's also reduced media's ability to be reactive to his work and role. That's where those on-the-spot media stand-ups come in. The ones on the tiles between sessions in the House. Well, he reduced his time for those and limited access to himself. And his post-Cabinet Monday press conferences, he reduced the time in those as well. As a CEO, Luxon's relationship with media while being Prime Minister has always actually been kind of fascinating to me with my academic background in media. So I've really been kind of curious to see how he deals with it all. When he's doing the chat rounds with mates like Mike Hosking, where there's a clearly partisan bias there, there's next to no accountability being pushed, and even when there is, it's actually framed to soften the blow. And their followers are happy to let that happen and then complain that other outlets are the ones with a bias against him. But less partisan media outlets, the ones going for actual balance in news reporting, they clearly get on his nerves. And a CEO seldom has to deal with media being so persistent, and he has never done well with on-the-spot media coverage or pushback, and we've seen that in hot mic situations where he didn't realize he was still being recorded. But he knows the role of media as a way to connect and inform. It's why he spends so much on social media. It's just the media that's holding him to account and trying to report what the leader of the country is doing or thinking that he doesn't think is important or worthy of his time. Which I guess means he thinks that about you as voters, since that's why we have media reporting on politics and publicly funded media to do that. But don't worry, he's happy to spend time with idiots who drop $10,000 to get a photo and still can't spell his name correctly. Which I guess really shows you what his priorities are. Oh, hey there, podcast listeners. Thanks for checking out today's podcast. Whether that's on video or audio, I really appreciate it. And I did finally get around to doing a podcast end tag, which I've been meaning to do for a while instead of just taking you onto the Facebook version. So while you're here, why not hit that subscribe button so that you can get updates coming in directly every time there's a new episode uploaded. Just seems like a really simple way to keep up to date with all of the crazy that's going on. So yeah, give that a shot and I'll talk to you soon.